The office is an office of employees who work for a paper company selling paper. Located in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Dunder Mifflin is being filmed by a documentary crew to show an American workplace. Regional manager Michael Scott likes to lighten the environment when things sort of get hard.
That's what she said.
Sales rep and assistant regional manager
To the regional manager.
Dwight Schrute is constantly pranked by fellow sales rep Jim Halpert, who has a crush on Pam Beesly but is engaged to someone else. After Michael does an offensive imitation of a Chris Rock routine, the branch is required to do a diversity seminar, but Michael takes over, thinking, what better person to talk about insensitive comments than the person who made the insensitive comment? Michael assigns Dwight to choose a cost-saving healthcare plan, so he chooses the cheapest one, leading to the other employees being outraged. To calm them, Michael promises a surprise, but the only surprise is that he failed to deliver on a surprise. With rumors of downsizing, Dwight forms an alliance with Jim to gather information about potential layoffs. Jim uses this as an opportunity to prank Dwight with Pam. Meanwhile, it's Meredith's birthday in more than a month, so what better time to celebrate than now? Who is better at basketball, the office or the warehouse? Is the warehouse. A purse sales rep named Katie tries to sell purses at a paper company that sells paper. Michael and Dwight form a crush on her, but Jim is the one who receives the metaphorical rose. It's the annual Dundee Awards, the workplace award ceremony to end all workplace award ceremonies, and the winner is Jim getting kissed by his crush. But she's drunk. Human Resources rep Toby is required to review the Scranton branch's sexual harassment policies, but Michael finds it really hard.
That's what she said.
While Michael is getting a terrible deal on a condo, the rest of the Dunder Mifflin employees are doing the Olympics. But there's no synchronized swimming. Or regular swimming, it's just an office version. Who accidentally started a fire in the office?
Ryan started the fire!
With downsizing looming, Michael is tasked with firing somebody by the end of October, which he delays to the spookiest day, Halloween. Quality Ashwin's rep Creed is selected, but convinces Michael to fire some other random employee instead. The office heads to the local dojo so Michael and Dwight can settle an argument as to who would win in a fight. After an intense hardcore battle, Michael is victorious, but tensions remain between the pair, so as a peace offering, Scott removes the "to the" part of Schrute's position as assistant to the regional manager. As the office reads a script written by Michael Scott titled Threat Level Midnight, Michael and Vice President Northeast Sales, Jan, meets a key client at Scranton's finest establishment, Chili's. However, Jan is frustrated during the discussion as Michael refuses to talk business, but it's his personal connection with the client that lands the deal. Jan is so impressed by this that they hook up. Meanwhile, Jim and Pam are definitely not hooking up, while Dwight and accountant Kevin set off fireworks. Everyone gets an annual performance review from Michael, while he gets one from Jan, but it's not based on their romantic encounter, which Scott has told the whole office about, much to her annoyance. Jim's having a party and everyone's invited, except Michael. But he comes anyway.
That's what she said.
The Office Christmas party is about 11 years from being released, so you'll have to do with this Office Chrissy party, where everyone switches Secret Santa gifts, trying to get the iPod Michael bought for Rainn, while Jim does his best to make sure Pam gets his gift. Except for the letter, she can have that later. Maybe he forgot to put a stamp on it. The Office go on a boat, where Jim reveals his feelings for Pam. But not to her. To Michael. You know when you buy a George Foreman grill and before going to bed each night, you lay 6 strips of bacon on it, then you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, plug it in, go to sleep again, then wake up to the smell of crackling bacon, but accidentally step on it, burning your foot? Yeah, well so does Michael. Jim panics when Michael nearly reveals his secret feelings for Pam, but the truth slips out anyway. Jim confesses to Pam that he once had a crush on her, but claims that it ended once she got engaged. Who defecated in Michael's office? Todd, it was Todd. It was Michael's bigoted friend, Todd Packer. Jan leads a women's seminar for women, so Michael leads a men's seminar for the men. On Valentine's Day, while sales rep Phyllis gets all the gifts from Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration, Michael travels to New York to tell all the other managers that he's in a relationship with Jan. Well, that's not the reason why he went. It was really to meet the new CFO, David Wallace. Dwight is honored as Dunder Mifflin's top sales rep, but gets nervous when he has to present a speech, so Jim helps by giving him infamous advice from infamous figures.
We must never cede control of the motherland!
On Take Your Daughter to Work Day, the employees who have daughters take their daughters to work. It's Michael's birthday, but Kevin is selfishly ruining the day because he might be dying of skin cancer. But the results are negative, which is positive, so they go ice skating. Dwight finds a joint in the car park. Who does it belong to? Maybe it's Dwight's.
Now exactly how much pot did you smoke?
It's time to go through all the complaints other employees have filed against each other. Most of them are from Dwight to Jim over his pranks. Michael plans a charity casino night. He accidentally invites two people he has a crush on, his boss and realtor Carol. Michael starts a relationship with the latter, leaving the former disappointed. Meanwhile, Jim confesses his love to Pam, but she doesn't feel the same way. So they kiss. Lots to catch up on between seasons. Jim is transferred to the Stanford branch, Pam broke off her engagement, and accountant Oscar is gay, which Michael is very okay with. Michael and Dwight reunite with Jim at a sales convention in Philadelphia, the city, not the movie, where Halpert reassured Scott that his love of Pam was the reason he left, not his love for him. In Scranton, Dwight plots to take down Michael, while in Stanford, Jim plots to take down the other employees in a game of Call of Duty. Michael's former boss dies, making him realize that one day he'll die too. Meanwhile, Jim searches for a packet of chips. Dwight takes Rainn to the Schrute family beet farm for an initiation before his first sales call on Free Pretzel Day. The office celebrate Diwali, while Michael does the opposite of celebrate when his fairly new partner rejects his marriage proposal. The Scranton branch is closing, with Stanford absorbing some of its staff. Oh no, that manager left. It's going to be the other way around now. Jim, the two characters who got the most screen time in Stanford, Karen, who's now dating Jim, and Andy, join the Scranton branch, plus 3 others who quit or get fired pretty much immediately. One of those who quit is reformed white-collar criminal Martin, after Michael, or should I say Prison Mike, explains the harsh realities of being locked up. A Christmas with Michael and Carol? No, she broke up with him. A Christmas at accountant Angela's office party? No, the others rejected that. A Christmas at Pam and Karen's office party? Also no. A Christmas at Benny Hanna? Yes. They also merged the 2 office parties. After Michael returns from a holiday to Jamaica with Jen, oh no one was supposed to know about that. Good thing he didn't accidentally share a revealing photo of her to people. Oh no, he did that. How's Jim and Karen's relationship going? Not great either. The sales department team up and go on the road to sell material manufactured in thin sheets from the pulp of wood or other fibrous substance. However, Dwight is late for work because he was delivering Angela's tax reports to New York, but instead of explaining the truth, he resigns to avoid revealing that the pair are secretly dating. It turns out, Andy doesn't really like pranks, Michael wants Dwight back, and Jim still has feelings for Pam. Phyllis has a bachelorette party as if it's 1786. It's Michael's wedding. Oh, sorry. It's Pam's wedding. No, it's not hers either. It's Phyllis's wedding. Michael gives a college speech, a bat invades the office, and Pam paints a picture. David Wallace hosts a cocktail party, but Dwight's too busy inspecting the house's structure. Meanwhile, Pam confesses to her ex-fiancé Roy that she and Jim kissed. Roy is not too impressed by this, intending on giving Jim a knuckle sandwich. Luckily, Dwight prevents Halpert from having to eat the worst kind of sando. Meanwhile, Michael can buy many sandwiches with his new pay rise. It turns out working in a warehouse is more dangerous than getting a paper cut in an office. The 1 year Creed forgot to do his job has led to all the paper being sent out with the crude watermark on it. After Phyllis is flashed in the parking lot, Michael tries to address women's issues by hosting a seminar, but it fails, so he takes them shopping instead. Let's go to the beach, let's go play some games, to see who Michael's new successor will be, believing he's about to get the position open at corporate. Michael doesn't get the position open at corporate, nor does Jim or Karen, but Rainn does, which is actually Jan's job, and after 3 seasons of teasing, Jim breaks up with Karen so he can finally ask Pam out. It's a packed opening episode to the 4th season, where Michael accidentally hits Meredith with his car, she discovers she has rabies, Michael creates a fun run to spread awareness to the disease, Dwight kills one of Angela's cats, destroying their relationship, and Pam and Jim privately date. Pam and Jim are no longer privately dating when the secret gets out. Meanwhile, Michael fears he's being aged out of his position by the introduction of Ryan's new tech-driven approach to modernize the company. Can Dwight outsell a computer in this new tech-driven approach to the company? Yes, but can Andy outdate Dwight with Angela? Maybe. Michael is struggling financially, leading to him taking on a late-night telemarketing job. For a bit, until he's forced to quit. If money becomes a real issue, he could always stay at Schrute Farm's bed and breakfast like Pam and Jim.
Dunder Mifflin, people prices bed for people.
Is not the ad they go with to promote the company. Sales rep Stanley pretends to be leaving for Dunder Mifflin Utica, where Karen is regional manager, but it was all just a ruse to get a pay rise. Michael Scott, more like Bear Scott, that's nothing. As the office plays ping pong, Jan tries to sue Dunder Mifflin for wrongful termination, leaving Michael caught in the middle of the company he loves and the girlfriend he sort of of loves. He sides with the company, leading to an awkward drive home. Michael invites the office couples over to his condo to show off his new flat-screen TV, plus for a very awkward dinner party that ends the relationship between Michael and Jan. While Michael searches for a soulmate, Dwight searches for a chair model. Michael and Dwight travel to New York to surprise Rainn, who's been working out his nose. While back in Scranton, the office gets locked out of the building while staying late to avoid working on the weekend. Stanley didn't stutter when snapping at Michael over his antics, but the pair platonically make up. Which young budding high schooler wants to work for a paper company? No one! Toby is leaving! But who's the horrible replacement? No one. Well, it's Holly, but she isn't, dare I say, horrible. Michael even forms a crush on her. And that's not all. Jan is pregnant, Rainn is arrested for company fraud, Pam leaves for New York to study graphic design, Jim nearly proposes to her, and he entirely proposes to Angela, who later makes out with Dwight. Over the summer, the office loses 35 pounds in 8 weeks, but Pam gains a few grams from the engagement ring Jim gives her. Rainn returns to the office as a temp, leading to an ethics seminar about his scandal. One of those measures learned is time theft, which Jim makes sure Dwight doesn't break. Jan has her baby, which is neither Michael's nor Kevin's probably, so Michael and Holly begin a relationship together. This relationship leads to sexy time in the office and Michael forgetting to lock the main door, causing a robbery, so Scott holds an auction to raise funds for the stolen items.
So I hear $300, $300, hey, bada, hey, bada, swing!
Unfortunately, the lovebirds can no longer be together as Holly is transferred to Nashua, which is an awful commute, but not as awful as Pam's Halloween costume. Because Dwight and Jim didn't go to customer service rep Kelly's America's Got Talent rap party, she sabotaged their customer survey scores. But if Dwight gets fired, at least he has Schrute Farms to fall back on, where Angela and Andy have just booked their wedding at. It's business class travel for Michael as he heads to Winnipeg, while it's just regular car travel for Pam as she heads back to Scranton. Toby's back as HR rep.
No! God, please, no!
Michael tries to have him fired, so he has to move back in with his parents. Speaking of parents, Jim buys him and Pam his parents' old home. The office has a surplus, meaning if they don't spend it by the end of the day, next year, they'll be a year older. So do they spend it on a new copier or new chairs? The winner is chairs. This year, Christmas in the office is celebrated the Moroccan way. This year's must-have gift is Princess Unicorn, which Dwight has bought and is upselling. The office finds out that Dwight and Angela are having an affair, leading to a duel between Schrute and Bernard, where the loser must lose Angela. However, they're both defeated by emotions and both end their relationship with the accountant. Michael and Dwight go undercover to investigate and steal the clients of a small family-owned paper company, but their kindness leads to Michael struggling to hand over the information. An impromptu heart attack by Stanley is caused by an impromptu fire drill by Dwight, and that's not the only thing burning. Michael is also getting burnt at a roast of himself.
I know where this is going.
Do you?
No.
Because Michael lives by the philosophy of don't ever for any reason do anything for anyone for any reason ever, no matter what, no matter where or who you were with, or where you are going, or where you've been, ever, for any reason whatsoever, he embarks on a speaking tour to all the other Dunder Mifflin branches to explain Scranton's success. Unfortunately, Jim and Dwight must have misinterpreted this philosophy, because they've forgotten Kelly's birthday. The tour leads to Nashua, where Michael is saddened to learn that Holly is in a new relationship, just like how Angela might be in a new relationship with her cats. However, neither of their relationships are as intimate as Phyllis and Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration. What if Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but The Office? And it also goes horribly wrong. After the new regional vice president, Charles Minor, cancels the 15th anniversary party, Michael quits The Office. For the first time. He then starts a new paper company for which Pam is his first employee, and Rainn is his second employee. As the Michael Scott Paper Company is making their first sale, Dwight and Andy are making their first moves towards the new receptionist, Erin. Finding new clients at the Michael Scott Paper Company is difficult, but stealing Dwight's biggest client is easy. Despite this, the company is in financial trouble. But how the turntables, because Dunder Mifflin is also in financial trouble due to Michael taking a lot of their clients. So David Wallace offers a buyout, resulting in Michael getting his job back and Pam and Rainn landing sales positions. However, Rainn instantly loses his sales position because there aren't enough clients to go around amongst all the sales reps. I guarantee you're wondering what Michael has done with his old Michael Scott Paper Company office. Well, it's now a groovy cafe disco. At the annual Dunder Mifflin picnic, Michael and Holly reunite and perform a skit announcing the Buffalo branch's closure. The Scranton branch remains open and perform in a volleyball tournament, while Jim and Pam have recently performed in the bedroom because she's pregnant. To hide Stanley's affair, false rumors are spread, but before the truth gets out, Jam announced their news instead. Jim wants a higher position, but Michael thinks he's after his. However, much to Dwight's dismay, they're now co-managers. The conflicting management style leads to office disarray, but they can worry about that later because it's Jam's wedding day. Michael wrongly thinks this guy's in the mafia, but he rightfully thinks he's currently dating Pam's mother. On the way to a business meeting, Michael falls in a koi pond. At Pam's mother's birthday, she and Michael break their bond. There's been a murder in Scranton. Only kidding, it's just a game. But they take it very seriously, all the same. A shareholder meeting shows Dunder Mifflin down lots. Now it's everyone's favourite episode, Scott's Tots. Phyllis is Santa, Mifflin is up for sale, and his gift to Erin is a 12 days of fail. An investment banker checks the branch for any discrepancies, which is bought by Sabre, bringing in new policies. Two managers drop back down to only one, but Jim is more than happy, thanks to the Sabre commission. Pam has a baby. Now Dwight wants one too, so he can get more sales and generate higher revenue. So he creates a contract with Angela, for which she says yes. Meanwhile, Andy's pursuit to ask out Erin is a success. Jim is back from leave, so no more mega desk for Dwight. The new expensive leads have disappeared out of sight. Time for a happy hour with the office and the warehouse crew. Erin learns Andy was engaged, and now their relationship is through. Michael forms a crush on Donna, a restaurant manager. Now he thinks she's cheating on him, so Dwight spies from afar. But it doesn't matter because he wants the relationship to retire. Meanwhile, word gets out that Sabre printers are catching on fire. Michael has hired his nephew Luke as his assistant, but his immaturity sees Michael spank him. Now Scott has to take 6 excruciating sessions of counselling with Toby. Meanwhile, Pam promotes herself to office administrator. Attend the Tale of Sweeney Todd, where Andy is a part of the acting squad. Michael goes on a trip down memory lane, visiting his exes to tell them about the cold sore, which he thinks is way worse than it actually is. Dunder Mifflin may have some great sales reps, but none compared to Danny Cordray. It's up to the Scranton branch to find out what makes this guy tick. Which employee has the best Halloween costume and is worthy of a coupon book? Oscar, it's Oscar. While Pam and Jim's kid gets christened, Michael and Andy decide to get christened themselves with a church group of high school graduates on a mission to Mexico. The pair make it about 3Ks before giving up. Erin and a new boyfriend, Gabe, who works for Sabre, hosts a Glee viewing party. What if there was a way to receive a message to your home phone, cell phone, email, Facebook, Twitter, and home screen all at the same time?
Wolf.com.
It turns out that Michael is actually smarter than Oscar, the smartest, or should I actually say, previous smartest guy in the office. Actually. Toby takes a leave of absence, and back in his place is Holly, so Michael tries to make it the best Christmas ever. Meanwhile, Dwight is trying to make it the worst Christmas ever for Jim. It's New Year's resolution time. Creed ticks his off on day 1. As Andy has the worst sales numbers in the office, Michael and Holly help him get more clients at a small business seminar by improvising as a Greek couple. Then they become an American couple when Holly finds Michael after he gets lost. Now they can't hide their public display of affection. Hey, remember that script Michael wrote? Well, after 3 years of writing, 1 year of shooting, 4 years of reshooting, and 2 years of editing, he's finally completed his movie, Threat Level Midnight. Michael can accept racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, and every other form of bigotry from Todd Packer, but he will not accept any insult towards his girlfriend, Holly. Particularly as this is the person Michael proposes to and is now moving to Colorado with. This means a new manager is required at Dunder Mifflin Scranton, and D'Angelo Vickers is that very person. Michael doesn't just train D'Angelo to take his job, but also how to host the most important award ceremony. But now it's time to say goodbye, which Michael Scott finds really hard. New manager and juggling master D'Angelo has favourite employees who get to spend exclusive time with him, but he can't remember who they are after a serious concussion, so Dwight Schrute shoots his shot as interim. But he doesn't last very long in the position either, nor does Creed. Therefore the search begins for the new replacement to Michael. And that new replacement is not Robert California. He's taken over all of Dunder Mifflin and given the manager position to Andy Bernard. Robert challenges the branch to double their sales, for which Andy incentivizes them by saying he'll get a tattoo of their choosing on his bum if they meet the ridiculous quota. They meet the ridiculous quota and he gets a tattoo of a puppy. Meanwhile, Pam and Angela are expecting pups of their own, but the person kind. The warehouse staff win the lotto together and quit, so now the office staff must become the warehouse staff. Andy hosts a garden party at Schrute Farms to impress Robert and his parents and his brother, but he doesn't. but he does impress his office employees. It's the spookiest Halloween the office has ever faced, thanks to Aaron and Gabe. Dwight tries to improve efficiency by having a doomsday device send an email to Robert suggesting he close the branch if they exceed a certain number of mistakes. It goes off on the first day, so now they have to stop him from seeing it. Which they do. Before Pam goes on maternity leave, she trains up her new temporary replacement, Kathy, whom Jim is not attracted to. The indoor office goes outdoors to Gettysburg so Andy can impress his workers, but his workers are unimpressed that he's trying so hard to impress them. While Andy is giving Robert's wife a job that California definitely not want her to definitely not have, Dwight opens up a gym. The next one out of Jim and Dwight to pull a prank on each other lose their Christmas bonus, but Andy didn't say they couldn't frame one another. Who wins in a trivia contest? Is it A, the B team, B, the A team, or C, the Just for Fun team? Robert is going through a divorce and as a result is selling his mansion, but not before one last pool party with the Scranton branch. Jim pretends to have jury duty to spend time with his child, but Angela doesn't have to pretend to have jury duty to spend time with her child, that might be Dwight's. But he'll have to worry about that later, because he, Kathy, Rainn, Stanley, Aaron, and Jim
Gotta be kidding me, okay.
are sent to Tallahassee for a special corporate assignment, and that special corporate assignment is led by Nellie, who is a woman.
Expected a man, did you? Strong, powerful, huge, whopping.
Kathy has a crush on Jim, but Jim has a marriage to Pam, so Dwight helps save the day. It's time for Saber's big special project reveal, and it's a tablet. But triangle. However, it's a major flop, so Robert plans on firing Dwight, and as much as Jim doesn't get along with his co-worker, it's up to him to stop that from happening, which he does. With Aaron deciding to stay in Florida, Andy decides to drive down there in hopes of getting back together, which they do. But while Andy is away, Nellie takes his job away, which means the office is tasked with preparing a welcome party for their newest employee, or should I say, boss, which Andy is not very happy about. Losing his position annoys him as much as someone hiding his phone in the ceiling and constantly ringing it. With Andy now fired, he adopts a dozen dogs as state senator and Angela's gay husband, Robert Lipton's fundraiser. With the Dunder Mifflin Birmingham branch shutting down, Jim and Dwight team up to get their clients before rival sales rep, Chris, can get them. But none of them are able to get the biggest book. Instead, Andy swoops in to complete stage 1 of his comeback plan. Step 2 sees former Dunder Mifflin CFO, David Wallace, purchase the paper company and reinstate Andy as manager, leading to Robert's departure. While all this is happening, Dwight is still trying to get proof that Angela's child is half his. Step 1 of his plan is offering free family portraits so he can get a DNA sample of the kid. But it turns out he's not the biological father, so no new members are joining Dwight's family, but Clark and Pete are joining the Dunder Mifflin family, replacing Kelly and Rainn, who leave the office family. Someone else who's a part of a new family is Pam's ex, Roy, who gets married to someone else. And there's more family news. Andy is not related to First Lady Michelle Obama. The office goes mobile because it's a wonderful day for pie. Here comes Treble, and I'm not just talking about Andy's former a cappella group. Jim and Pam are having relationship problems because the former is investing a lot of their money into his new sports management company in Philadelphia. The city, not the movie. As Dwight is pranked into thinking he's sinking the company, Andy is hoping he doesn't sink his dad's ship as he sets sail off to the Caribbean. The Scranton White Pages needs paper, and Dwight is the one who sells it to them. But the boss is Jan Livingston? Angela confides in the person she had an affair with, Dwight, annoyed that her husband is having an affair with Oscar. The office has had many different types of Christmases, but they haven't had a Dwight Christmas. Until now. Pam's kids have lice. Now she has lice. Now half the office have lice. But not Meredith. Former warehouse employee / former warehouse manager / current assistant regional manager, Daryl, is now former assistant regional manager as he gets hired to work for Jim's company. But this company of Jim's is putting an enormous strain on his and Pam's relationship after missing their firstborn's recital and blaming Pam for not recording it. While Jim works part-time in Philadelphia, the city, not the movie, and part-time in Scranton, Dwight is tasked with finding a part-time replacement. After some terrible applications from his close friends, Clark gets the gig. Someone has vandalized a mural Pam has painted in the warehouse, while Jim has vandalized his and Daryl's Philly apartment with his messiness. Andy's welcomed back from his boat trip by Erin dumping him and dating Pete. It looks like Jim and Pam are moving to Philadelphia, the city, not the movie. So Pam starts job hunting in a workplace with a boss who acts like someone who would have almost been cast in the role of Michael Scott. While Dwight buries his aunt, who's dead, Todd Packer is back to make amends for his past behaviour by giving the office cupcakes that remind them of his past behaviour. Everyone is excited that the promos are out for the documentary that's been filming their lives, but everyone is unexcited by how much the documentary has been filming their lives. Pam and Jim's marital problems are not great. Angela and the Senators are also bad, but Stanley's relationship with Stairs is the worst. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a paper plane, and Dwight is the best pilot. But he's better at karate, earning a black belt. And that's not all. Dwight is now the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin Scranton after Andy decides to pursue his career in acting. This doesn't get off to a great start though, as he fails to make it past the auditions at the next great a cappella sensation. Meanwhile, Jim has decided Pam over his company in Philadelphia, the city, not the movie, remaining in Scranton. But 1 year later, Pam chooses Jim and the pair move on to Philadelphia, the city, not the movie. But not before the documentary airs, Dwight learns that Angela's kid is actually half his, the pair get married, Michael came,
That's what she said.
and Creed gets arrested.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And now you're all caught up on The Office US. You're welcome. Let me know in the comments what your favorite episode is. And don't forget to absolutely obliterate that like, subscribe, and share button. I'm just kidding. Only do it with enough force that it registers. I don't want any of you breaking whatever device you're watching this on.